What's up?
What's up, everybody?
We got to
Oh, Corey,
gotta
look
get
at you. First time you've been first in a while.
we got to get Amanda to redo the intro just to
Wow.
where it starts fading the music off, and then we come on because
Yeah.
it's like I'm right back into dancing, and it's like boom, there we are. Just stop.
What up, Stephen? Yeah, Corey's at number one. Got Gregory. Haven't seen him comment in a minute.
Gregory. All
Oh,
right, yeah, we got a good show tonight. That actually
great
our
show.
first. Well, not our. Is it? I guess our first solo returning guest.
Mhm.
But we had our friend Amanda Christensen on before. So if you want to catch the episode of where we get to know her better, go back towards, last year sometime, I guess. About this time last year,
Yeah.
I think we had her on. But
I
anyway,
was, I was typing in today,
tonight,
it's like episode 87. I was like, holy crap. Like, it's a long time.
well, we skipped some weeks too during the summer. But
Yeah, so.
but no, tonight we're gonna talk about her new little company. I think she's probably had it a little while. I don't remember. I know.
No,
No,
she's
no,
shaking her
she
head
didn't.
no.
So it's
No,
new,
it's just
actually.
popping up. Like she was, talking about the idea or whatever, and everybody's like, hell yes, please do it.
So she has Prime Accounting Team, and we're gonna pull her on here and get to
Hey,
know what all you're doing
do you
with
want to
this.
finish your sentence that you was trying to say before Brandon so rudely
I'm sorry.
interrupted you?
I don't even remember.
What a bigs. Yeah, she said they're talking. Click. Like,
I was like,
dang.
whoa, what did
Going
I
in the
do?
back room. There you go.
And then I was like, oh, back room, I'm okay.
So I think we had talked
Yeah, you
before.
good.
I remember you telling me
How are you
about
going to see?
talking about accounting and stuff. So that's why I didn't know if this was something you'd had before. But anyway, so we're gonna let you take it away and kind of explain to everybody what this is and who you're able to help with this. And
Okay.
all righty,
The floor is yours, madame.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on again. I'm honored.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
So, yeah.
Big said you're a rock star, by the way.
So's big. Everybody knows that though. But so yeah, this I have a background in some accounting, bookkeeping. I've had my own business since 97 in one way, shape, or form. And so I've been working on the books for those, and I've learned a lot the hard way. I was audited in my first business. That was fun. Never want to do that again.
No, that's scary.
So, and they didn't find anything. It was just a random audit. And I'm like, why am I getting audited? And they're like, because your number got drawn. I'm like, great, thanks.
It's not the lottery you want to hit.
Not the lottery you want to hit. It's like jury duty. So I've been doing my own books, and I made lots of mistakes. When we started Iowa Dent Solutions, my sister was starting her bookstore, and that you guys plugged on the show. So thank you very much. I did put that in the comments, the link. So if anybody wants to get audiobooks, they can go there. But so she was like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh, good planning. Start your business and then go, hey, who can help me with my books?
That's what I did.
Yeah. But who does that? Everybody. So and I'm like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing for yours, but I'll do the best I can. And so learned a lot there too. Good thing she's my sister. She might have fired me, but I'd have fired me. But so just learning a lot by making the mistakes. Then I had a friend that had a masonry company, and he's like, my bookkeeper quit. Well, his first bookkeeper just kind of quit doing his books, kept his computer. I'm pretty sure some of his money. Yeah, he gave her and me so much information. I was like, do not share this much information about yourself with anyone. I could totally steal his identity. I'm like, dude, don't do that. But I worked on his stuff and tried to get it up to snuff. And so, yeah, I just kind of had done a lot with the books and learned a lot. And then, I've had a couple guys, like Corey said, he's called me a few times and like, hey, how do I do this? I can't figure it out, and some of the guys in the 20 group, other guys in the 20 group have called and they're like, hey, yeah, Andy, I don't know how to do this. So, yeah. And I was like, there's a lot of, I kind of tossed around the idea of doing something like a course online with how to start a business and all that. And then Corey did it. So I'm like, oh, cool. I don't have to do it now. And because I don't know what I'm doing. Not with a course online. I was like, I have no clue. So I was like, I'm going to have to learn how to do that in order to do that. And I was like, what do I already know how to do? I know how to do books. And, for a long time, I've talked about how it's important for PDR guys to know how to keep their books so they're not getting audited. They're not losing money because they're not paying their taxes. They're paying penalties and making sure they're signing up for the right stuff. They're like, I have to pay sales tax. What do I pay sales tax on? And they're like, I don't know how to do any of that. And it's scary. I was terrified of it when I first started doing my own books. I was like, I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to go to prison. I'm going to owe all this money. And, no, definitely not. But they let you know, hopefully, before you get to the prison point.
Thank God.
Just don't ignore their letters. That's a bad idea. But so I was like, well, I know how to do books. And I was like, I don't want to do everybody's books. Plus I'm like, that's kind of a conflict of interest, me doing other PDR guys' books. Even if you're somewhere else in the country, it's, a little bit of a conflict of interest. So the team is the Prime Accounting team. Is Stacy Hesterworth. She is our senior accountant. She has a ton of experience in bookkeeping itself, and then she has a ton more experience with specializing in automotive industry. So then she started doing Tech One's books, and then I started using Tech One with Hale. So hi, Tim.
And Amanda.
So I was doing, I think we did maybe 3-4 storms with Tech One, which is Brandon Birch and Shane Jacks. And so Brandon was here once and I was like, Brandon, I've been throwing around this idea. And he's like, well, what is it? And I was like, I'm thinking about doing this bookkeeping just for PDR guys. And he was like, oh my God. Because we talked about doing the course and stuff. And he's like, that is needed. Nobody's doing that. And
very much so.
I was like, well, what do you think? How should we do this? And he's like, I have a great bookkeeper, Stacy. And so we got together and we talked about it this spring. We had a group call and we talked about it. And we're like, yeah, we need to do this. And then it hailed everywhere.
Yep.
And we all went, okay, table this.
Or we wait.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, let's schedule a call in November and we're going to talk about what we want to do and how we want to do it. And basically we just said, okay, come to this meeting with your vision of what you think this business will be. And let's make sure it's going to mesh. And we all had the same vision. It was totally, it was all what we wanted to do. And none of us need extra work. None of us need, Stacy can always use work because she can hire other people to help. But, we didn't need an extra business. We're doing it because the industry needs it. And, like when the estimating systems came in for PDR, that made a huge difference in the industry. First of all, taught the guys how to do an estimate, a proper estimate, how to work with insurance companies through an estimate. Now some of us are using CCC or, whatever, and, using DenOps and things like that. And we've really legitimized the paintless dent repair industry just through that. And so our goal is to try to further legitimize the industry by our guys having their stuff together. You know,
Yeah.
we want to have a professional appearance when we go out, you know, whether you're mobile or you're bringing people into your shop or working a hailstorm, you want to be professional. You want to be sure what your numbers are and how to work with your numbers. And that's what we're here for. So we don't want you to, about this time of year or in a couple months, go walking into an accountant's office with your box and go, here you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, you know, because none of us have ever done that before, right?
Right.
No.
Or you could be on your looking for your 5th CPA like I am, and have
So,
5 CPAs in 5 years is a little exhausting.
yeah. Yeah. So, and then training that CPA in what the industry is. They're like, you do what? And do you fix windshields? It's like, no. Do you detail cars? No. We do paintless dent repair. And then you're like, we fix hail. Oh, okay.
It's like you
Gorgeous.
repaint cars.
You
No.
paint? No.
Light
Do you have
bulb.
inventory? No. You know. So yeah, it's there's a learning process with an accountant trying to figure out what a business is, and
Mhm.
a good accountant can do that and do your taxes well. There's no doubt about that. So we have affiliates that we're working on gaining more affiliates. So anybody listening, if you have a business that relates to PDR, then, you know, by all means, you know, hit us up and we'll talk. Because, you know, we've got a website developer, we've got some people that do printing and you know, things like your shirts and your business cards and things like that. So we're working on developing that, and that way when people say, you know, I have no idea how to do CRMs. Okay, so we're going to try to get a CRM guy, so that, or two, or whatever, however many that people like. And then if we can get a little bit of a discount for you, that's all the better. So that's what we're trying to do.
Stephen said someday.
For the CRM?
For all of it. He's still
For
working
all
on
of it?
those
Yeah.
jobs, so
Well,
yeah,
you know.
one day.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, do you need a CRM? I don't know. You know,
I would say so.
yeah.
I would say so. Yes. Now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now that you've had one, but when
After
you
I
don't
bug
have
the piss out of
one,
them forever.
you know, and people are like, well, I don't know if I can afford it, you know, because they're like,
I don't know if I'll use it. I don't.
Mhm.
Yeah. Right.
And will it really bring in more customers? And so knowing where you are number wise with your accounting is going to be huge, and keeping up with your books is really, really important to know where you are in your business.
Well,
So,
you know, like you were saying, with they're already familiar with the PDR business, so that's
mhm.
a lot of conversation you ain't got to have. They're already ready for you. Like, just come in and, you know, everything's kind of set. So that's
Yeah.
huge, I think.
Yeah. And so everything will be done the same way. You know, you don't have two people entering stuff, you know, and you have the option of using your own CPA or using our CPA, which is one of our affiliates, and we can quote for him. And
Yeah, right.
yeah, Dan, sure.
I don't believe you.
Uh-uh. So if you are, you're doing it wrong. And
Yeah.
then you need help like ours. But, you know, you need to know where you are in your books. And if you don't, especially this time of year, you should know, do we need to spend money? Do we not need to spend money? You know, can I go to MTE? Can I not?
Yeah.
You know, it's this is the time of year, and okay, this is okay. Start your slow time of year, and you start looking at your books and you're like, oh, where do I start?
Mhm.
You know, you got this big stack of receipts, and, you know, if you're in QuickBooks Online already and maybe have a checking account hooked up to it, you haven't looked at it in 6 months, and you're like, oh my God, I have this big list of things I have to categorize. And then you have all these, I don't know what to do
I'm
with
getting
that.
stressed talking about it.
Yeah. You know, and it's like, I don't know what to do with that. And so my hack's always, if I don't know what to do with it, I just put it under ask my accountant. And then when I pull my reports quarterly, I'm like, hey, what do I do here?
Right.
So now I have Stacy, so she
There you go.
took care of it for me.
That's
And
perfect.
yeah, so it's I think going to be really, really beneficial for people. We have different levels to where we are working with shops that are not even a shop, the business that is one man show, working out of his PT Cruiser, I don't know, whatever, and just trying to make ends meet.
If he got a PT Cruiser, he needs a lot more help than bookkeeping. He got bigger issues.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking. Don't offend anybody, Andy. No.
How many people here got PT Cruisers? We'll talk afterwards, and I'll make fun of you.
Yeah, let us know if you drive a PT Cruiser, okay? So
speaking of that, though, when I was in New Orleans, I had to get a rental car because my truck was broke down, and they gave me a PT Cruiser, the same color as our company logo. Or polos. So, it's bright blue.
Oh,
PT
nice.
Cruiser with blue shirts on. Yeah.
That could be
everybody thought I worked at Best Buy.
Nice. You Geek Squad? No, son. You don't want me
Did you need a wrap for your Geek Squad mobile? No.
Sorry,
but we work with the one-man show just starting out. A lot of guys have left Dent Wizard or have been working with somebody else and are like, I'm going out on my own, or I'm coming off the hail trail. I don't want to work hail anymore. And so they're trying, and they're technicians,
Yeah.
And you can have all the tools on your tool cart. None of them are going to help you do your books.
Yeah.
We have our own tool cart, and we're the bookkeeping. You stick with your tools, we'll stick with ours. So
and that's something like hands-on. I've not, in 5 years, going on 5 years that we've been in business, I've never had somebody hands-on walk me through some of this stuff.
Yeah.
We winged the whole thing, and it's stressful not knowing, like if we're doing it right, if we're not doing it right. So definitely having some guidance there would be a huge plus.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it right before my wife came along. So
right.
Mine's the same like, here. Oh, good Lord, hand it over.
Man is like sales tax. I'm like, what's that?
It's like Mandy and the CPA, one of the ladies that works at CPA. She was like, "What have you been doing?" Like
dents.
No. They're fixing shit.
Yeah. So I mean, we're allowing you to push dents and make money, and and it doesn't matter. You could have a brick and mortar with 10 employees, and we can do your books.
Right.
We, depending on your situation, we also have benefit packages, payroll, things like that through our affiliates that will, so as you grow, like Andy, how hard was it to bring on an employee? And then you're like, you worry about that person. Because
it's
now I am providing their bread and butter. So
it's not just one livelihood; it's two now.
Yeah,
or 3 or 4, whatever you get going.
So then it gets doubly important that you're doing it right. And so getting payroll is like, oh my God, taxes were bad enough. Just figuring out my taxes. Now I got to figure out payroll, and it's scary. So and then you have people, and they're like, well, where I am right now, I've got a 401k, I've got health insurance, and you're like, I can't offer that, But if you have more than one full-time employee, you can get health insurance, So, I mean, we can always quote it. We got it last year, and our employee was like, oh my God, this is amazing. We have health insurance, we have dental. And we started a simple IRA, so he can start saving. I mean, how many dent guys are saving? Not very many. I know, because you have a really smart wife. But
I No, I had a 401k with Dent Wizard and figured I need to do something with it.
Yeah,
And then, yes,
exactly.
I do have a very smart wife, and her sister is into finances and all that stuff. So that
Right.
made it real
So,
easy.
yeah. So it just, being able to offer that to employees is invaluable,
Yeah.
and knowing where to go to get it. I mean, I had no idea. I was like,
Right.
I pay you, I can do payroll, and then my bank's like, hey, we offer this. And I was like, cool, let's do it. So now we can do it through Prime Accounting Team and, see if it's the right fit for you. And we can also work with insurance companies to make sure that you get insurance.
Yeah, Matt said those benefits are huge for attracting and keeping team members. Absolutely.
Definitely.
And I was actually about to quote Matt. He always says, put your list of jobs that the business has on a sheet. Circle the ones you want, put in the squares the ones you don't. I guarantee bookkeeping and taxes is in everybody's square. That is the worst thing to do. So why not hire somebody? Take that off your plate.
Yes.
You're spending more time on your business, fixing dents or getting more dents in the, so you're making more money to cover that cost anyway. So to me, it's a no-brainer.
I mean, and honest to God, that was one of my squares. I did not want to do the bookkeeping and accounting. I know how to do it, but I need to work on the business, not in the business. And I don't count that as working on the business. I'm not bringing in any more business. It's hard to, especially when it hails, to do all the estimates, work with the insurance companies, work with the customers, scheduling, all that, and then doing all the books. And then I always clean out the cars before they leave, so I'm doing all that. And I was just like, oh, it's too much, just too much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, that's part of what made me go, hey, what do these guys not know how to do? And what are they willing to hand off to other people?
Right.
And, we're not trying to make a ton of money off this. I mean, Brandon, when I told him about it, he's like, that's $1 million idea. And then he's like, we're probably not going to make $1 million though.
No, them guys are cheap.
We want to make it so these guys can afford to do it.
Right.
You push you figure out your average ticket on a car when you're not pushing nail, and you got to push a few more dents to pay for your bookkeeping. Well, if you're not sitting there pulling out your hair trying to do your books, you got time to go do the dents.
Exactly.
And so you have more time to do those dents, and you aren't having your wife do your books and your wife wanting to strangle you, So we joke that we're saving the PDR industry one marriage at a time.
Right. Yeah. Matt said it could be more than I already paid my CPA, or it can't be more than I already paid my CPA. Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if you got to deal when you're paying. So
the bookkeeper is less. At least you only have to pay the CPA once a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a good rule I learned. The cheapest, it's like PDR. Cheapest ain't always better.
Yeah.
We went cheap the first route and no communication. No, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Actually, the first 3 was like that.
Yeah. I was talking to Ron about it, and I was like, we're kind of like, what would you compare that to? He's like an R&I guy. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, that's the stuff you don't like to do. You don't do it very well, and you mess stuff up, and it costs you money. And I was like, yep, that's exactly what it's like.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
Yeah, he's smarter than he looks. So.
Let us be your tax R&I guy.
Yeah, the tax R&I guys. So that's really why we got into it.
Cheap cost me a lot of money my first 6 to 7 years. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure it's cost us some. We don't know. We ain't got to deal with. Well, our last CPA was good. He just vamped on us and quit the job he was at without us knowing for 2 months. So.
Yeah, and Matt said someone gave him the advice to get the most expensive CPA, which it is. It's true. I mean, if you're going with the cheapest, you're getting what you pay for.
Absolutely.
We're not super cheap, but we're trying to help the industry, so we're not going to charge so much that you can't afford us.
Yeah. And we preach that all the time as PDR companies. Don't use the cheap guy in town. So why would you?
Right.
Practice what you preach. Don't use the cheap CPA in town.
Right. I mean, right now we're kind of the only guy in town, who's offering this. And, so we're trying to make it a reasonable price. And especially these guys that are starting up and they have no clue what they're doing.
Overwhelming.
And what's that?
I said it's overwhelming.
It is
Starting up.
overwhelming. I mean, it's overwhelming when you do know what you're doing sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh, now I got to sit down and do all this. Sometimes it's a matter of not having enough time because you're doing other stuff for the business. And, then it becomes overwhelming because you let it slide. It's one of those things you can let slide for a little while. But then when you get to it, you're like, oh man, I really wish I hadn't let that slide. So,
Right.
or you're like, what was that expense for again? And you get into your online banking and you're like, it's too old. I can't see it. So you're calling the bank. Hey, can you get me a copy of that transaction? So yeah, I mean, it's something that I think the industry could really use. It's something that, people starting out just need somebody that understands.
There's probably more than you could even imagine out there that are still probably trying to do it on their own at the end of the year. No CPA. See, it did it.
Yeah.
There it goes. You got to hold it there a while.
Yeah.
Will it work on me too?
Yeah,
you got to
get it. Are you on a Mac?
Ooh, look at you, got fireworks. Those are ginger works.
It's the little thing.
Or they don't even pay a CPA or anything like that too. So
right.
Anyway,
or trying to do your accountant, your taxes on your own, or letting mom do them. It's
like when I was an actual employee, yeah, I'd do them. I'd do all of ours on our own. Yeah. But once I started a business, it's like, yeah, can't do that. But then I have no clue how to work QuickBooks and all that. So like, I never every time I heard before Mandy took it over, probably 2019 or whatever, and I'm trying to do the stuff and I think I'm reconciling it and I'm not. And it's like everything that's taken out when you reconcile that puts it in a positive like it was I don't know what was up with it, but
yeah,
I didn't know it.
The girl that the masonry guy had hired to help him in his office, she didn't know anything. And he's like, can you help her just, do the day-to-day stuff? And she'll like pay the bills. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, first things first, we got to reconcile these accounts. I mean, they hadn't been reconciled in like 2 years. And so she was like, what does reconcile mean? And I was like, And she goes, why is there a dash in front of the red number? And I was like,
oh Lord,
because you're in the red. And she goes, what does that mean? And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Stop and call CPA.
Yeah. I'm like, you need to let her go. She is not helping you at all.
Thank God I've got Mandy now, because she already knew how to do QuickBooks and all that. And
yeah.
And
even when you know how to do it, it's frustrating because they change
categorizing
all the time.
Too, like trying to figure out what categories to put everything in. Like there for the longest when I was doing self-employed QuickBooks, it's like everything was other tools and equipment. Other tools and equipment.
If it's like I'll walk in even to take a 5-minute break and she's doing it in here, she's got the printout. She's like, read them off. Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and ideally, I mean, now with mine, everything comes in and I can do this part, so I'll be like, okay, I categorize them and they go in there. And then if I go in to reconcile it, everything's in there. I hit reconcile, I put my amount and the date in, and I get up there and it's like 0, yay, everything matched. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool when that happened.
That's what poor man that she took it over this year before we had the hailstorm and everything, so it went till like October, maybe November, till we even messed with that categorizing and everything. Oh, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, because you don't remember. You think, I'll remember.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad I don't have to do it, but
it's terrible.
Everybody definitely needs to call Amanda and get the bookkeeping, pay for it.
Especially you got a hailstorm, you got subs in and out with
Yeah.
checks and everything else. Like you need
Yeah.
somebody on top of that for you at all times.
Yeah. And I mean, being able to know how to handle all of that work, we have experience with that, between Shane, Brandon, and me, they've handled more hailstorms than me, but it's like figuring out how to pay your tax and you haven't been paid yet. And, sometimes that's okay. You got one or two texts and they're like, yeah, whatever, just pay me when you get paid. But you don't want to be that guy that not paying the tax.
I don't like owing anybody.
So it's like, get
Cliff, I know what you're saying. I know you. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I think my husband might agree with that every once in a while.
Cliff, he's trying to be sweet, but you just called Amanda a tool. But I do agree. It will be the PDR tool of the year. Like, like it is a huge asset. I fully agree. Well, like I was talking to Kevin Bird and kind of telling him about it. And he's like, "Give her my number now."
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So
we had a great talk. So
love Kevin Bird.
So we will be going to Mobile Tech Expo.
All right.
We debated, are we going to do a booth? Are we not going to do a booth? Since we literally started this business. Cliff likes that I'm a tool. It's a new business, brand new. And we're like, okay, it's pretty expensive when you don't have much money coming in to do a booth. And we're like, well, we could put our own money in. It's cool. And then we start running numbers. We're like, that's a lot of money. It's like, maybe we just need to go. And like when I was talking to Kevin, he was like, I missed what that one was.
Oh, here you go. Johnny's saying I woke up thinking about a big smash tomorrow.
Oh,
hope you have happy Christmas to you too, brother.
Happy Christmas, and I love your dog.
Yeah, Bird's been a tool of the year for 11 years. You ain't lying.
But yeah, Kevin told me, he's like, at least do Radio Row. If you don't do a booth, at least do Radio Row. And so we're like, okay, let's just go and we'll do Radio Row and get some shirts and some, business cards and whatever. And
well, that's why we want to get you on before MT so people will know that you're there.
Yeah.
And what you've got going on so they can approach you in person. Like you already been on Vidines and stuff, so get you a little bit different, same audience, but different people sometimes. So the more people you get in front of, the better for sure.
Yeah. And
I think everybody needs it.
I figure the people listening to the podcasts are, especially yours, are the ones that are wanting to improve themselves and their business. And, they're looking for, I can network without a booth.
So you'll kill
I'll just dress up as a tool.
Merry Christmas.
I need an inflatable tool costume.
Or just a ribbon, tool of the year.
I need a sash.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I was going to say you can go as a moose knuckles. We know all about that.
You do that,
don't we, man?
That's all you, Andy.
Knuckle.
Did you just give away your costumes for the Den Olympics?
We're not doing the Olympics this year. We're going to take a break.
Yeah.
Now I think of it, you should do Rocky and Bullwinkle.
We've got to wait until Jeff and Tad retire.
Yeah, I think it will too. Bob saying he thinks it'll work well. Great needed within the industry, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cliff's not what I mean.
Not what you mean.
Well, we're gonna keep rolling with it, Cliffy.
You got 3 gingers here. And just take.
We like
we have no souls.
Soulless. But yeah, as soon as you mentioned in 20 group, like you kicking around the idea, whatever, I immediately was like, yes, like the industry needs something like that. Like I said, Noah came with the Den Ops, and that's huge for us. And now you're coming out with this. Like we're getting support within the industry that's going to just help us all be better.
Which means in about 2 months we'll have a copycat of your company.
Probably, and that's all right. there's plenty of room, you know,
Better.
as long as they
Chrome-
have the
Chrome
industry's
accountant.
best interest in mind, then I'm cool with it. So
It'd be Optimus Prime.
That's the problem. Usually, isn't it?
Like, oh, y'all went on steroids.
Dentimus Prime.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dentist.
But no, like I said, it's definitely needed. Like Kevin Birdrill on top of his taxes and stuff too. So when I told him and how excited he got about it, like, you know, it's going to be a good deal for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know I talked to Gene about it. I'm like, you think this is a good idea? He's like, yep. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. And then when I talked to Brandon Birch about it, he was like, oh my God, it's so obvious. How did nobody think of this before? And I was like, I call those my idiot savant moments when I come up with a good idea like that, you know?
Website primeaccountingteam.com.
Yep. And then
Making a banner.
we've got all our email addresses and our phone number on there. Everything, all the phone numbers, everything goes to Stacy to that. So if you don't get her right off the bat, then leave a message. And
I hope I spelled that right.
what's that?
I said I hope I spelled that right.
What? Prime
Accounting
Accounting.
Team.
I think you did good.
Perfect. I'm shocked because I'm tired.
I'm just
Spelling's
happy
hard.
you did a banner.
I'm
It's
impressed.
something new.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I had to start the show by my damn self last week, so I've kind of figured some things out, I guess.
Oh, we feel you, Cliff. We feel you.
It'd be a Timu Prime Accounting Team. All right, Davo. So Amanda's got they got a Prime Accounting Team business with accountants, bookkeeping, and work with their CPA. You can always go back and watch, but it's going to be a huge asset for the industry.
Yeah. And you can use your own CPA. If you've got a CPA you like, cool. You know, if you trained them on what your business is,
Right.
you know, that's fine. You know, we offer it, and it can be kind of a la carte. You know, I can't really do anything with telling you what pricing is because everybody's business is different.
You just said there'll be tiers.
And not only tiers, but there's a range. Each tier has a range, and it's like, okay, you're within this range, and these are the services we're going to offer you.
Live training.
I don't know of any of them actually having like live training, but you always had demonstrations. Stanliner booth, Kiko, those guys. Usually you're doing, you know, hands-on or small instructional things. So
yeah, nobody wants to give their cow away. They'll give you milk.
Yeah. I just don't think there's enough time to do it, you know.
No. I still I leave MTE like, man, I didn't get to talk to so and so very I didn't do this. I had to come home and order my tools because I forget the damn order or buy tools while I'm there.
Yeah.
PDR Playground. I like that.
Yeah. They used to. The PDR Tool Time guys had a playground or whatever, but they ain't around no more, so we ain't got it no more. Does the website have all the affiliates that you guys have?
We're working on it. I mean, we literally, I don't even know if we've passed a month yet that we've been in business. So
it was last 20 group call was a month from now.
Yeah. So we hadn't started yet. So no, we're literally just starting. But you know, the great thing is Stacy has all of her processes down, you know, and we do weekly Zooms, so we know. Oh, he's asking about the training. But yeah, so I mean, we're ready to go. I mean, we've got everybody involved knows about the business and, you know, the PDR business, and Stacy totally understands the rest of it.
Can y'all see that?
So, look at there.
Yeah.
All right. So here's let's accept the cookies.
What about intake process? You want to explain a little bit about that? What happens when you do sign up with you?
Yeah. So talk with usually me or Brandon, and there you go. And we have an intake form that we fill out as we talk to you and figure out what you're looking for, kind of what your pain points are in your business besides the bookkeeping, you know, what you would like to do, which ones of our services, because we're going to be offering some consulting as well. So, if you're like, we lost him.
I don't know what he's doing.
But we can offer consulting. We have a lot, stuff that we can offer you, like the insurance and all of that. So find out what you're looking for, what you need now, what you might want in the future. You're like, well, yeah, I'd like to grow. I'd like to be able to, talk to you about health insurance and 401k and shop insurance and all that. So yeah, it's stuff that we go through. Yeah, consulting is a big one, Bobby. It's a lot because everybody's business is a little bit different. I mean, a business in Iowa is not the same as a business in Tennessee.
Absolutely not.
It's not. And a business in Minnesota and a business in Texas, those are going to be massively different just because of weather alone. And so, we'll take a.
We have a website designer affiliate.
We have a website designer. Blitz is who we're working with, or is one of our affiliates right now.
What's the same one that Gene, the Feddies use? Yep,
Gene uses him. I use him. Tom uses him. Tom Poland. So yeah, I mean, he is part of how I, was thinking. He kind of specializes in the PDR industry, and I was like, we need that here, So, and eventually we'll branch out to like body shops and, maybe detailers and, windshield guys, things like wheel guys, but stay within the automobile industry,
industry. Sound like Ron.
Oh goodness.
So yeah, I mean, we want to keep it in the automobile industry so that we understand. Yeah.
I don't smoke.
He had to go to the bathroom.
Possibly. I drank 3 bottles of water right before we got on there. And I was like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah. Brandon earlier said he saw me in the back room, and I'm like, you saw me in the bathroom? Didn't even have my phone in there.
As soon as you popped on here, you were already talking, but I hadn't put you on the screen yet. So
leave it to me to already be talking. So anyway, but back to the intake thing, because I didn't really finish that. Got sidetracked.
Right. Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. And but I'll do the intake, or Brandon will do the intake, and then we'll send that to Stacy, and she'll take a look at everything. She might give you a call and find out what you're looking at. I was having people give Stacy a QuickBooks invite, but she's like, no, don't do that yet. I'm like, oh, sorry.
I think she's got ours, don't she?
Yeah, whatever. So
cool.
At least it's people I know and trust. So.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I mean, I would never have asked if I didn't think Stacy could handle it. But if you say, hey, I have not done anything in a year, then she's gonna call you up and be like, okay, let me take a look. And she'll probably get on there with you or get in, and she can just take a little bit of time and look at it and go, yep. Based on the number of transactions that need categorized and how long it's been since it's been reconciled and how many accounts you have, whatever, it's going to take me this long to fix everything. And she'll quote it to you that way. And she knows how long it'll take. She's got that experience. Me, I'd look at it and be like, well, I'll see you in a couple weeks. I'm going to bury my head in this for now.
Right.
That's why Stacy does it, not me. So, she even helped me where I was like, I'm having trouble. We have a credit card so all 3 of us have a credit card, but it brings it in. All the cards are different numbers, and it brings in all the transactions, but only my card marks it as the payment. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? She's like, you are way overthinking that. I'm like, oh, good. Can you help me with that? So
Nice way of saying you sucked at keeping track of your books.
yeah,
You're a
I need
tool.
it too. I'm a tool. I need it too. So no, I'm much better at the you're a tool too.
I think he was saying he's
That he sucks
sucked
at his
to keep
book.
track. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people do. I mean,
sucks
it's
at his
hard.
book.
Like when you, especially if you're a one person show and like trying to do everything. Of course, we're not now. I got a man to thank
Yeah.
God. But before, none of that got done because I'm like, or I could fix these dents and just not worry about that shit.
Yeah. Well, and I tell
So
you, when I first started doing the books for this business, Ron's like, well, that shouldn't take you very long. And I'm like, really?
Yep.
Would you like to try it? And he's like,
Yeah.
no. And I'm like, then shut up.
yeah.
Because it's going to take me as long as it takes me,
Right.
And part of it is, I mean, a big part of it was just figuring out how to do it for a paintless dent repair business, how to set up your QuickBooks. And that brings up another point is if you don't already have QuickBooks online, we can bring you on as a child company to ours. So ours is the parent company and it gives you a reduced price on QuickBooks. If you already have QuickBooks, we can't do that. But, a lot of the new guys, they don't have it. They're using a spreadsheet or one of the cost tracking apps. And a lot of guys aren't tracking mileage. Mileage is a huge thing to track. Especially if you're mobile, you really need to track that or you're not going to be able to write off your fuel. I mean, you will, but if you get caught without your mileage, they're taking it away. So you have to track that and it's well worth it. I mean, spending a little bit of money to do it right is far better than not spending any money and doing it wrong.
Right.
So we're trying to minimize your mistakes and save you money. So that's our goal and let you concentrate on doing the dents and dealing with your customers and, deciding, knowing where you are financially. Cause if something comes up where, hey, this place came up for lease and I could lease that and have a brick and mortar.
Not overtake our eggs.
No idea.
I'm not sure.
I've heard people have been a couple issues trying to contact them, so I don't know.
Yeah, they're not as fast
Merry
as
Christmas, Bobby. Yeah, right.
I thought you could email them.
They don't get back to you very fast that way.
Yeah. And I can personally testify for Amanda. Like Amanda is on her shit at all times. Like being in 20 group with you for how many years now? 4, I think it is. Or
yeah.
1. Yeah. Like you're the one that's always on top of everything. So if you're heading anything like this, like I said, we're jumping in with it. So I can personally testify that it's going to be huge.
Yeah. We're hoping. Thank you, Andy.
No problem. I got you. I'm not just saying that because we're friends.
Yeah.
Because we need. Didn't you say a member of your team is going to be trying to do like a little tour or two of the stopping by?
Yeah, Brandon's going to be going bottom up. So he's going to be starting in Texas, working his way up, and then kind of he's going to be in January. He's going to be staying kind of toward the east, but the middle of the country, and then kind of looping to the east a little bit and back down. And that'll be before MTE, ideally. I mean, that's the plan at this point. You know how those go sometimes. Yeah. But yeah. So I think mid-January. So I think he's even gonna try to go up into Minnesota and Wisconsin. So
is he gonna stop by the Gray Duck Dent Repair Shop? Oh,
no.
Bless his soul.
we call that in the Middle East. I love that.
I almost said that too. I was like, I don't think I want to say that. Call it the can't call it the Midwest to the Central. I don't know, to the South.
I think
Down
that'll be
south.
good for the team though, with Brandon getting out to these, plays, because like you said, everybody's different, so that's going to give him a firsthand view of how different everybody is and
Yeah,
what
and I mean,
everybody needs.
he's been working with Shane with Tech One for a few years now, and they
Nobody will come to
really
North Dakota.
maybe.
Ray,
I don't
I'm
know.
I'm sending Ray January 5th, and Cliff's like, "You hate him? Like you're sending him to see me in
When Ray
January?"
hates cold weather, so
Oh yeah, Ray is not a cold weather fan, so I don't know
that's
what
funny.
happened there.
You better buy him a parka first.
I know, right?
We are a state.
You got to shop in the kids section though with him.
Yeah,
Him and
and
Jaeger shop
Jaeger.
at the same place.
They at the Baby Gap.
You think that Ray's not real big?
No, he's a little fella.
Oh, that's funny.
Johnny said, most important part of my one-man band is the accounting software and a nice accountant writing off Las Vegas classic. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And you can write off the accountant too.
See, and that's stuff I didn't know. I don't know what I can write off, what I can't. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to know all that.
Yeah. Or not have to know all that.
Right, exactly, yeah.
You don't have to worry
just
about
fix
it.
dents.
Right. Just fix dents. You don't have to worry about it because we know what we can write off and what we can't. And, amortizing things, your tools. And that's another thing, just like the insurance side of it. We can work on shop insurance, your garage keeper, all that. But, we've had some guys have their tools stolen and they didn't insure them for enough. And so they're like, man, I thought I had more than enough insurance, but replacing them, I'm not getting everything back, not that you don't end up with a bunch of tools on that old cart that you leave somewhere else and just a better set of tools.
Or just drive behind David up there at Jeans and you'll get all the tools you want.
He just leaves his tailgate down. Makes it rain.
Did he ever find any of those?
I don't think so.
Last I heard, he didn't.
That's
well, a lot of guys on the Hale Trail, they're at a hotel, come out and their truck's broke into, the trailer, tools are gone. People have no clue what these tools are for, but sure would be nice to make sure they're covered.
Yeah. Or if they do know what they're for, they're going to go use them and make their own money with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I know that down in Texas, I think it was a couple of years ago, it was when there was so much trouble getting parts. Mm-hmm. Guys would come out of the hotels and their taillight was gone or their headlight was gone. They're like, what the hell? Somebody needed that. So they just
mine now, bitch.
It's probably the dead guy down the corner.
Yeah. Getting his car out in the room next door. Yeah. I gotta get paid.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, I'm working on a truck just like yours. Your right taillight looks really good. Yeah, come out and find one taillight missing.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Could take the other, you're gonna need it at some point.
Yeah. Might as well just put it back in stock.
Probably broke in and got your tailgate down and used your own tools to get your taillight out. And then took the drill
the tools back up there.
Goodness. They're like, I've always wanted one of these.
Well, I'm excited for the future of Prime Accounting team. I see it being, like I said, I can't say enough about it. I see it being a huge asset for the industry as a whole. I'm excited to sign up with you guys and see how much money you could save me and, let me just fix dents. That's all I want to do.
That's right. Save you headache, save Amanda headache.
Yeah.
Yep.
The headache is probably more valuable than the money.
No, for sure.
Because the money's going to come if you're not worrying so much about taxes and all that.
Absolutely.
You can work on your business, not in it so much.
Yeah.
Obviously you're looking in it, but
yeah,
I think with a lot of guys who aren't used to doing it or are new to it, or just owning a business and they're just mobile. A lot of them just scared. Yeah, I mean, we all were. We were at that point in the beginning where you didn't want to spend the, Mobile Tech RX. Do I really want this monthly? Eventually you get in the mindset of just do it. You'll figure out a way to make the money and pay for it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I mean, you can't fix dents without tools, and we're one of those tools where we want to be. See, Cliff,
tool of the year.
I'm the tool. We want to be the
You need a
tool.
shirt that says we want to be a tool.
I want to be your tool.
Prime tools.
That's going to be my sash. I want to be your tool.
Easy. I wouldn't wear that to MTE.
Especially later in the day, huh?
Yeah. Easy killer.
Oh, by the way, you didn't do the you added 4 W's on the.
See, I knew
Time
I'd mess
counting.
something up. I was tired, man.
I just saw it. I'm like, man, W is like going on forever
I
here.
didn't
Telling
notice
you.
that. I was looking at the spelling.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's one of them days. And we got to hop on another call after this. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that on the way home. I need a Tesla to drive me home.
You need to test that.
Yeah, I need a Tesla. Just be like, go home. I'll be taking a nap. Don't worry about me.
I don't know about that, Andy.
I would.
Wake up in
full
Nevada
send.
somewhere.
It's gonna be
Right,
like
Cliff's
Iron
house.
Man, whichever
Like,
where am I
I
at?
go to.
Cliffy's. Like, wait a minute.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, like I said, I'm excited for you guys, and I think it's going to be huge. And Kevin Bird just said, let him know whenever you're ready because he's going to make it rain. That's what he said. He told you. You're like, hold up there, Kevin.
I know, like, whoa. No, we've already started training people to help us out, and so we're, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, let it rain, not let it pour yet, but go ahead and let it rain.
Trickle.
We're ready. If it pours, we're ready. I mean, we've got it lined up.
Battery won't
Cold
work.
here for a Tesla. Battery only lasts half an hour.
Oh goodness.
I wonder how long they last in the negative temperatures.
I don't even want to know.
I don't care.
Yeah, probably never figure out.
I call them creeper cars.
At least it'll be warm when it
my
catches
van's
on
a
fire.
hybrid. My van's a creeper van. It's a hybrid, so I sneak up on people with it.
Well, I call them creepers because they can record you what you're saying.
Oh,
and, So
I am always very careful of my F-bombs and everything if I got a Tesla in here working on it. I think I did have one, and it went into Sentry mode or whatever, started recording, and I was over. So I was like, I told the customer, I was like, I'm sorry, I had a moment. Like, your car
don't watch the recording of when I had your car.
to catch that moment.
Our boys, we told them about that. They're like, they do, and I'm like, yeah. And so they every time they see one in a parking lot, they're like, bleh! And I'm like, oh Lord.
Not your boys.
No, not mine. Even my big one. No.
I fixed the door on one a couple weeks ago, and I thought about that, and then later Mandy's like, "Hey, you think it was recording you fixing the dent on it?" I'm like, "Probably."
Yep. From
Did
all
we get
angles.
it from him?
Yeah, we have a dealership we do work with, and at the collision center, and they said that their guys got in trouble. The owner went back and was like, they were talking crap about me and Tesla owners and stuff like that.
Hey, Stephen covers them all with tape. He just run around like,
they can hear you.
Yeah.
Big Brother's listening.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's creepy. So
yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Is.
I guess if I was the owner of it, though, at least you know your car, if it's getting jacked with, you're going to have all the angles of the person messing with it.
You
So
are. Yeah. It's like having a Ring doorbell built right into your car.
That's good. Social cross-checking.
Yeah. I haven't heard that one before, Cliff.
I knew that's a new one. Cliff coming up with all the new shit.
Oh, that sounds like something my husband would know about.
Right.
He's always on. He doesn't do Facebook or anything anymore, but he likes X. So he's on there all the time. So he's on there, and he's like, I'm talking to him, and he's scrolling and doing stuff, and
I've never taken X before.
Well, I told him he's an X addict.
He just
made it up. Okay, well, that was a good one. You had idiot spot moment too.
Oh goodness. Well, Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. And
I really appreciate you
always
guys.
glad. I'm
having
glad
me.
y'all are coming to MTE.
Oh,
John
yeah.
coming?
No,
Mm,
he's got to hold down the
Loser.
fort here.
gotcha.
So not bringing the kids.
Yeah,
So,
I don't blame you.
I know they would love to come, but no.
Too many bad influences at
Yeah.
MTE.
Well, they've already been exposed to those during hailstorms.
That's
So
I've had Jack there and John Vidine.
Yeah, John
so,
and Jack.
yeah.
yeah. I'll
Don't
be
get much
talking
better
to
than
one of
that.
them, and they're like, "Who are you talking to? Are you talking to Jack? Talking to John? Talking to Josh?" I got a lot of J guys now. I think.
Yeah,
about
you do.
Yeah.
So they'll like put them on speaker. So
That's too funny.
they'll
Goodness.
start telling them a story. Yeah, funny.
Funny.
Well, I ain't gonna make it.
You can do it.
Well, we're gonna hop off this one and hop on the.
Well, thank
20.
everybody
on
for
my
tuning
next
in.
But
Yep.
definitely, yeah. Thanks for everybody for commenting, watching. Y'all go check it out. PrimeAccountingTeam.com. Y'all sign up for it
With 3
And-
W's.
with
Three.
three
Yeah,
W's,
not
not
4.
yeah.
Andy got W crazy.
Just Google it.
Just
we're
Google
four in here. Anyway. All right. Well, we'll see y'all later.
Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Bye, guys.